Hello and welcome back to Factorio. We are in Exotic Industries. Last time we set up the initial production chain for making superheated molten lead using protium and lithium-6. So we are churning this stuff out, and at the moment we're dumping it into the road network. Fair enough. These are the buildings we need to turn the lead into electricity. So we should have a look at what these involve. So this takes 600 critical steam, supercritical steam, generates it into 400 megawatts of power. So that's pretty good. This is currently producing 1,800 superheated lead per minute. And this can consume 15. So we would need at least 2 of these to consume what's being produced here. Now, if we had 2 of these, they would need 12k of water, which is insane. And 12k of water would produce 3,000 of this critical steam. This consumes 60, so 6 into 30 goes 5 times, so we would need 5 of these. But it looks like they chain. In fact, looks like we can even do this. So we can make these as dense as we want to, as long as there's still room to get power supply around them. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's dump this down. Okay, so this machinery is going to need to go over here somewhere. And so this has 2 inputs, the water and the hot lead, and 2 outputs, the steam and the cold lead. And it doesn't look like there's any useful way to rotate them, so it may just be pairs of pipes. Although I'm a bit worried by the amount of water involved. So let's get an offshore pump. Here. Okay. So one of these, can produce 72k of water a minute, and this only needs 6,000. So one water pump can power a whole load of these things. Okay, so we should still be well within our water budget. Yeah, so we could do double this. So I think maybe this is what we're going to do. Maybe we're going to ratio this out to 1 water pump. And then I guess we need to think about where I'm going to place this. Alright, so let's grab all this. I want to do the power supply around the middle somehow. And we can alternate the reactors with the power generation. I'm not quite sold on the best way to do this. Okay, so 1 water pump would supply 1 of these stacks. Yeah, I think this is the way I have to do it. If I turn these sideways, then we'll get inputs and outputs lining up, and that's not going to help anyone. Okay. So the water's straightforward, I think. But now let's just do it the simple, stupid way. Alright. The simple, stupid way isn't going to work very well, is it? Because we've got this output of the critical steam. And this is what we need to then put into our power. Okay, let's swap this around. Obviously now the water's not going to work very well. Alright. This may be one of those builds where we end up using custom landfill. I haven't really made up my mind yet. Okay, and then the input here is our hot lead. Okay. And I can pinch a tile. Good. So then that would give us room here to put in hot lead. Right, then we have an output for cold lead. Okay. The problem we have now is the cold lead needs to be dumped out somewhere. I need to get it back out into the network. The best way to do that would be something here, so that would be 2 tiles. Okay, if I bring my spider over, then it can help with the build and unbuild. It'll make moving things a bit easier, I think. Also, how am I doing for construction bots? I didn't have them at one point because we weren't able to make them. Yeah, so I'm requesting them. We're not manufacturing robots at the moment. This does it. It only has 6. Let's see if we can find any more construction bots. Okay, and here. No. Oh well. Alright, so I want to move all of this over 2 tiles. You see how having the spider around helps. It just means that a lot of things, instead of getting bounced out to the outside world, get sucked up by the spider. Okay, so this is our hot lead. I'm definitely going to be using hot pipes for that. It's tempting to use hot pipes for this entire build just for simplicity, but here we go. Alright, do I need hot pipes for the lead? Did I use hot pipe for the lead here? I did. Okay, let's do that just for consistency. Okay, and since we're using hot pipe, I'm going to use hot pipe for everything. Okay, so if I've done this right, this is 36k of water in, 72k here. So we could double this build and it would be ratioed out to 1 water pipe. Is that something I want to do? It's certainly something I want to think about. Okay, let's have a think. So I could put this somewhere like that. Okay, and then the supercritical steam is here. Does that work? I think it does. All right. I'm just checking. Yeah, the water's all the way through. The supercritical steam output is all the way through. So I need this to go out to somewhere. Then we've got the hot lead in. And then there's no obvious way to route this hot lead to this half of the build. Let's grab this anyway. All right. So can I take this and do the input of the hot lead here maybe? Okay, so then this has no steam output currently. There. So I'm just checking that all the things on the inside are connected. Yep. So now we need a way to join the hot and cold lead across. Okay. So the cold lead is something we are providing to the network. Maybe... Okay, so do we now have... No, we don't. We need an extra piece of pipe. Okay, so that is the cold lead across the whole build. So then we need to do the same thing for the hot lead. And I don't think I can do the hot lead at the bottom, but equally I don't think we have the tile at the top. So let's see if we can figure out a different way. Okay, that's not pretty. But it is a loop. Okay, so that's our hot lead, our cold lead, our water, and our critical steam. Okay, so let's do a quick rate check. So if this was running at full speed, it would produce 18k of critical steam. These would be able to consume 24. So 3 of them should be 18, if my maths is... Yeah. All right. So then we should be able to do... that. That's pretty awesome. So this is our first setup for handling the superheated lead. It looks all pretty neat and tidy, doesn't it? Let's get some power supply. Okay, so it's going to be one of these builds that needs more than one of these. It may need several, actually. I'm just looking at where these can go and get good coverage because of all the pipes, because the piping is quite dense. There aren't good places to put in substations. Okay, let's see what we can do anyway. So that does cover everything. All right, and then that works, doesn't it? Okay, so if I now drop in a truck, I'm not sure how many trucks I'm going to need, but I guess we'll try it and see. What else? Yeah, so the other thing we really need to do is sort out this mining fluid problem. We clearly are not getting enough mining fluid through at the moment. In fact, let's have a look at the production stats for... It's called drill fluid, isn't it? It's a fluid. Okay, so we're not producing any at the moment. Okay. And I guess the other thing that could be happening is it could just be a travel time thing. No, that's empty. Okay, so we do need a drill fluid build. It needs to be a modern one. We'll figure that out in a second. All right. So how we... The other thing I should look at is this, I think, is a source of neutrons. Yeah, neutron flux. So I think we can put neutron capture around here, which then means we don't need so much neutron capture around these guys. So let's grab one of these. Okay, so I don't know the best places that these can go without colliding with the build. We may need to shift things around by a tile here and there. Yeah. Okay. But it does seem a shame to miss the opportunity to capture these neutrons. There may... Okay. So how are we doing? So we've got some really hot lead going in. Oh, these things are generating power. Okay, so if we look at our power chart, yeah, we're producing 1.2 gigawatt from this steam thing. That's pretty cool. Let's go back to 5 seconds. 1.2 gigawatt. So this little setup here produces more power than... So this is basically 2 city blocks. Produces more power than these 9 square city blocks. Well, that is not to be sniffed at, is it? Let's take that. No. That's not going to fit in nicely. Alright, let's move these over one again. Okay. Where else can we put these? That doesn't fit. Oh, that fits. Okay, that's a nicer build, isn't it? Let's do that for all of them. Alright. Well, I'm quite pleased with that. So we've now diversified our power production a little bit. Let's just double check how we're doing for speed. So if this was running at full speed, this would be making 18,000 hot lead. This would be consuming 18,000. So we are ratioed out for this build. And then I think the way it works is as we upgrade this to different fuels or put down second copies of this, we just stamp this down. And then hopefully everything's good. Okay, this is unhappy because its inventory is full, mostly of trash by the looks of it. Okay. What else? That can go. Good. Alright, what was our next build? The next thing we wanted to do was look at drill fluid. I was standing right by this, wasn't I? We want to go to Mega City 1 and find the drill fluid build, which is pretty close to here, I think, from memory. No, I'm going to have to look on the map. Obviously, from memory isn't helping. Oh, it's down there. It was right by Mega City 1. Good. Here we are. Alright. So, I think there is only the one process for making drill fluid. So I think we just need this done with beacons. So let's let's see if we can work it out. Am I going to import oil, or shall we use a self-contained oil build? I have a bit of an aversion to builds which reuse oil products in this mod pack because of all the oil cycling, all the products that need to be dealt with. Alright, this is still full, this is still full, this is going to take a while for this to be dealt with. Let's see where we've got a free module. Okay, there. And on the map, let's delete that. And delete that. Good. Alright, so I've got a feeling that if we just simply, let's trash all this nuclear related stuff, I don't need it. Trash those rocks and those plates and those circuits and those fish. Oh, am I requesting in circuits? I am. So that can go down to 0. Good. Let's have a quick look in Factory Planner and look at drill fluid. Good. Okay, so if I wanted to produce... it's not here, is it? Is it here? Yeah, drill fluid. And how much do I want to make? Let's start with 1200, and then we'll see if that is a sensible amount or not. We can always increase it. Okay, so we want to make it from this process using an advanced chemical plant. Okay, let's try and scale it up to 2 chemical plants then. So 15 is too much. 14. 14 is two chemical plants. So 700 is 1. We need some solid fuel. And the most efficient way to make solid fuel is from light oil. Okay. Good. That's a 1-to-1 for solid fuel and drill. Then we need some light oil, which we're going to get from the light oil recipe. Okay. Using the better distillation column. The light oil recipe requires residual oil, which we're going to get from an oil refinery. Okay. Then we have some side products which we will deal with when we get to them. I'm happy with water and crude oil as an input. Lubricant, we have a self-contained lubricant build, so we will import that. Sulfuric acid, we have a sulfuric acid build, so we will import that. Mechanical parts, looks like it is basically none. Good. We'll import iron ingots. Then we need to do something with the petroleum and the medium oil distillate. So let's start with that. We have to switch to matrix solver. Okay. If we're going to get extra stuff, apparently we can choose kerosene as an extra. Heavy oil distillate to heavy oil. So now we have heavy oil, lubricant distillate. That obviously becomes lubricant because we need some. If we're going to make extra stuff, let's imagine we want to make extra solid fuel. Okay. So the next thing is we want to get rid of the kerosene. So apparently we can turn kerosene into acid water, or we can crack it into light oil. I think we want the light oil version. Good. Then we have heavy oil. We want to turn the heavy oil into solid fuel because we just don't want, we just don't want it around. I think I've chosen the wrong free product, basically. Okay, so we're exporting petroleum gas. We can turn that into solid fuel as well. One of those and one of those. We're not going to turn all of it into petroleum gas. Some of it we're going to export to the road network. All right. And then can we do anything with the... All right, so let's look at the matrix solver again. We have chosen solid fuel as our free item. So that's... It doesn't mean free as in cost nothing. When it's solving the equations and it finds a cycle, it has to allow one item in the cycle to not be set to balanced, so that you could overproduce it or underproduce it. Obviously, if you overproduce it, it's a product. If it's an underproduced, it's an ingredient. So if we turn that off, we could choose another thing as our product. So we could set a byproduct of petroleum. Okay, so this would export 17k petroleum, 4.6k of crude oil in. As we choose different byproducts, we'll end up with different amounts of crude oil. So set it back to that. Still 4.6. Sometimes it doesn't change things, sometimes it does. Okay, if we allow it to... Okay, so this has drastically reduced our crude oil requirement for the sake of importing some lubricant. But we have a lubricant build, so that's not the end of the world. We can import lubricant. So I think this is much better. I think dealing with far less crude, and you see now the only byproduct we have is coal coke. It's managed to balance it for everything else. This is the build we're going to do. It's one of these, one of these, one of these, a couple of these, one of these. Yeah, I think this is small numbers of machines. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chemical plants. We can probably drop that down to 6 or 7 by adding speed modules. We have 1 oil refinery and then these distillation towers again. I think we can get it down to 1 of each with some speed modules. So let's have a look. What would happen if we added speed module 5? Okay, that's obviously overkill. And they were set to the wrong distillation column, so that's your answer, isn't it? By using the advanced distillation column, it is only 1 of each. Okay, let's start mapping this out and see what it looks like. There we go. I don't know if it's going to fit into a single module, so we may need 2 cells side to side. But we'll see how far we can get. Alright. So this is the thing we care about, because this is the final output. We may as well do it like this. Is that... Yeah, that's fine. So let's move this over. We don't have the same building lag here because we're quite close to the make everything and the storage. Okay. So then we have sulfuric acid coming in, which is coming in from the road network. We're just importing that. Okay, so we may as well sketch in the... Whoops. That was a bit of a mistake. Never mind. Nobody saw it. Yeah, that's the sulfuric acid. We can trim that off. Then lubricant. That's a bit more tricky. So we have two sources of lubricant. One is going to be a truck. Okay, and the other is going to be and I guess we use a top-up valve here. Or an overflow valve. Let's just double check which one we want to use. So the valves are hiding in plain sight. That's the logistics. There they are. Non-return valve, overflow valve. No, top-up valve. Okay. So this is lubricant. And this is sulfuric acid. Good, so that bit's done. We've done this. Okay, the next thing is two solid... So we have two solid fuel machines running on the light oil. Then we have a solid fuel running on heavy oil. And one running on petroleum. All right. So then I guess we need inputs there. Okay, if I do this, we're going to end up with a situation where we can't empty this machine. Okay. Something like that, maybe? Should be all right. Maybe there's an issue here where I need to make sure that one of these dominates. I need to make sure that I use up all of this, don't I, basically? We need to use up all of these products. Because the only thing we're exporting is Coke, so this should be a totally balanced system. Okay, so... import there. Then this piping, yeah, I can choose where to do those. All right, so that's all of that. Then these need the iron mechanical parts as well. Well, I think we can be cheeky about this. Do I have better space this side or that side? Neither side is the answer. Alright, so this is going to put on the near side of the belt. So we'll end up with a split belt of solid fuel and mechanical parts. This is going to be iron ingots. It is iron mechanical parts, isn't it? Yeah, good. Okay, and then I'm going to do some inserter shenanigans. There. Works for me. So that is mechanical parts. Okay. Then we have let's do the distillation towers next. Okay. I'm not quite sure which order these go in, so we will get them all and then shuffle them. Is that correct? Yeah, it is. Okay. So this one would go there. This produces lubricant from lubricant distillate. This generates lubricant distillate. Yeah, good. So those two go together. Then this takes in heavy oil distillate. Where? So let's try and work these out then. So this takes in residual oil and puts out medium oil distillate. This takes in medium oil distillate, so that goes there. Okay, I feel like I'm missing a step here. Heavy oil distillate is a product, and this takes in heavy oil. Okay. Gotcha. So that's our fluids stack. Alright, I can't quite see through these, so I'm going to stack it on the side for now. We'll need to move it in a moment. So that is this, this, and this. So then we have two processes left. This one takes this output and turns it into more of this. Okay. And so that's on the ground, and then we have a refinery. Which I think we can maybe even put there. So this will output the petroleum direct in here. Okay. It needs crude and water in. That's fine. Right, let's move this out the way with no prejudice about whether it should be there. Okay, that can go on there because it just directly processes this residual oil. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, I think it is. Okay. So then let's move that over there. Move these to there. Move that to there. Okay. So if these are joined, that's the light oil. I'm just wondering where I'm going to do this process. I think I can then underground through there. So that's all the light oil dealt with. Pretty awesome. This is the kerosene. Okay, then that is the heavy oil. What else is there to worry about? Oh, lubricant. Does this reach? It actually does. Okay. So if I move these down one, yep. That's quite a nice trick, isn't it, where you put undergrounds back to back, just so that it doesn't join with another pipe. Okay, so this is everything except one of these processes generates some coke. Yep. So I need to dump that out. and then dump it to the outside world. Okay, let's set this up as a diagonal inserter. Yeah, that's correct. All right, then that's not going to work with this water. Okay. Is there anything I've forgotten? Don't think there is. Okay, we need to bring in crude. Here. Okay. And as I said, the thing we're missing is routing the water. Okay. This can go somewhere else. I can always route it with a belt. In fact, we may even be able to do long enough. Okay, that actually works. It's really sneaky, but it does work. Okay, so now we can deal with water. Alright, so let's grab an offshore pump again. Does this go all the way? No. Okay, then can I go through here? I can. Good. That does supply the water. Then I think let's get this powered. Okay, it's ugly, but functional. A bit like me, really. Ah, we're missing a connection across there for some reason. Okay. This never stamped down correctly. Let's have a look. Okay. So undo that. Take that back. This can't do it because... Good. I know I'm a bit obsessed with power poles, but I can't be bothered to fix that one. That to... There we go. Alright, does this now have the power poles you'd expect? It does. It's connected in the corner where it should be. And if we turn this on and it works, I will be really quite pleased with myself. I may even do a happy dance. Okay, I'm going to put a bunch of trucks in there. Now, if this was all working at full speed, it would be producing 1.4k of drill fluid. How does that compare to our old build, which is here? So this says it produces 2.7 drill fluid, which is clearly more. No, this is 2025, so just over 2,000 here. And where's the garnet? Yeah, here. And 2,700 there. So our new build is actually quite a lot worse than the old one. Okay, that's disappointing. This one is self-contained. It's not going to jam up when we run out of... The other one keeps running out of the oil to feed it, whereas this does the whole thing itself. Also, what would happen if I just took this build and started dropping speed modules into it? So let's head over, see if we have any speed modules. And the answer is no. We don't have any of those, because we don't have any of those, because we don't have any blue chips. Okay, so we're missing blue chips. We have plenty of speed module 2s. That gives you a 40% speed boost, which would be enough, obviously, to... right, where did we put that thing? Here. Okay, so that's just one speed 2 in each of the machines. Okay, so now we are beating the old module. Where are we? Okay. I'm just trying to keep everything in ratio because, you know, we did build the original thing to a particular ratio. Right, this is all still functioning. Can we put more of these speed modules in? Okay, so I guess what at some point we'll end up with something not being able to keep up. Either a belt or an inserter or something. No, that's all good so far, isn't it? Okay. I don't think we need any speed modules in there. Double check. So that needs 148 bits. This produces 150, so this is perfect as it is. This produces 792 solid. This needs 500 and something. So we are... yeah. So I think we're good. Ah, this doesn't have the solid fuel it needs. Okay. And why did it... This is not able to get rid of all its basic... because the residual oil isn't going. Okay. So... that's looking good, isn't it? So it's definitely this one that's the rate limiter at the moment. Go to all this trouble to make a nicely ratioed build and then just throw speed modules at it and break the ratios. And I haven't even bothered to find out why the blue chip build isn't working either. But I guess that's a job for future me. Okay. Let's go for maximum speed modulage. Okay. It will need one of those now. Okay, so this is still slightly full. This is running as fast as I can make it with these modules. That's all running. That's all running. That's all running. Good. Okay, so this is slightly slow on filling, but I think that's because the arms are slow. Okay, so what if we kind of cheated a little? So I don't have any of these stack inserters in my inventory, so let's do... Okay, this should help. Is that helping? Yeah, it is. Okay, so at what speed are we now producing drill fluid? 5,265. Up from 2,000. So we're producing it basically at double the speed in that module. So what we're going to do is our tried and tested process where we mark a thing for deletion and then we delete it, and then we stamp down the production block to it and all its neighbors, and with any luck that will now get put back as a pristine production block. I'm pretty pleased with that. So to recap, we have set up this power generation which processes all of the superheated lead from here. It appears to be ratioed and appears to be running, and we are producing 1.2 gigawatt from those things, which is pretty cool. I don't know what we could be producing. 1.2, so we're producing everything we could. We will, at a future point, build more of these with different feedstocks for this, because apparently this is a really awful choice. We have upped our drill fluid production. We've basically more than doubled it in a module, which we are standing by, which we need to put a display plate on for. There. Drill fluid is here. And because we were out of it, and this build doubles it, we are going to double it again using the tried and trusted Factorio approach of we ran out, so we double it, and then we double it again. Let's put that down there. So, job done. I'm calling it. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you again. I will see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.